What do you remember from the 2023 MLB Playoffs? In terms of big moments, I can remember Adolis Garcia's walk-off home run in Game 1 of the World Series, Royce Lewis's two-home run day in Game 1 of the Wild Card round, and the Diamondbacks jumping out to a 6-0 lead in the first inning of Game 1 of the NLDS off of Clayton Kershaw. That's really about it, and I watched for most of the playoffs. Maybe other people remember it differently than I did and have many more fun moments that they can talk about and remember. But for me, when I think back on it, I can barely remember anything from those playoffs, and it was just last year. And it's for this reason that I think that these playoffs were pretty bad and extremely forgettable just 8 short months after they took place. So it didn't have all that many memorable moments. By extension, this means that there weren't exactly many competitive games and/or series, which is valuable to having a good playoffs in any sport. Starting on October 3rd, all 4 wildcard series began. In a best-of-3 series, which in my opinion is stupid and a waste of time, all 4 of those wildcard series were 2-0 sweeps. For some more numbers, the winners of these respective series outscored the losers 38-9. There were 0 one-run games and only 2 two-run games. On average, the winner won each game by a margin of very roughly 5-1. There were barely any close games, with the series between the Blue Jays and the Twins being the closest in terms of runs. The best series, or the most entertaining series, was probably the Diamondbacks versus the Brewers in Milwaukee. This series featured a 2-0 sweep from the Diamondbacks, but those 2 wins were comeback victories where the Diamondbacks went down a couple of runs early in the game and slugged home runs to eventually take the lead and dig their way out. Their bullpen was able to nail down both wins, but when games like this are the clear-cut most dramatic, it wasn't a good playoff round. This uninteresting playoff round is a perfect example of when professional sports leagues go a little bit too far just for some increased revenue. The Division Series round barely managed to be better and more exciting. The winning teams in these series outscored the series losers 12 games to 2 overall. Better than 8-0 like in the wild card round, but still not good for interesting baseball with tangible stakes like there should be in the playoffs all the time. There were a lot more close games this round, with the best and most memorable game taking place in Atlanta for Game 2 of the NLDS. Down 4-3 late in the game, Austin Riley crushed a go-ahead home run down the left field line to put the Braves in front. In the top of the 9th, with 1 out, Nick Castellanos hit the ball deep to center field, where Michael Harris II made an insane leaping catch up against the wall, and then the Braves were able to turn a double play when Bryce Harper couldn't get back to first base in time. Even with this great moment, the Braves were washed by the Phillies the rest of the series and lost 3-1 for the second year in a row. In total, the winners of the Division Series round outscored the losers by a score of 74-38, or roughly 5-3 per game. Both the Division Series and Wild Card round were pretty boring, but to be fair, the championship series in each league were actually really entertaining to watch. Both series featuring the Astros and the Rangers in the AL, and the Phillies and the Diamondbacks in the NL went 7 games, the first playoff series to go the distance in the 2023 playoffs. As for the ALCS, it was decent as 7-game series come. 3 of the games were blowouts, with the other 4 being pretty close. In 7 games, the Rangers outscored the Astros 39-33. This was a good series. For the NLCS between the Diamondbacks and the Phillies, it was also pretty good. Despite the Phillies scoring 30 runs to the Diamondbacks 21, outscoring them, the Diamondbacks won the series thanks to victories in the low-scoring games. In their losses, they scored only 4 runs, but in their wins, they scored 17. This series had a few close games as well. For the World Series, I can remember Game 1 as being a good contest, but not really the rest of it. The series went to 5 games, and 3 of them weren't close at all. The total run disparity was Rangers 26, Diamondbacks 22, but even though it was close in terms of run differential, it doesn't mean it was actually close on the field. Overall, this postseason simply wasn't entertaining in my opinion. Other recent playoffs have had more competitive series. The League Championship Series round was the only good round in 2023. There weren't many memorable moments in total. It was just forgettable in my opinion, and I'm hopeful that this year's playoffs are better.